You know, every time a new face joins the Kansas City Chiefs, it sparks a wave of curiosity, especially when that new addition has a story like Robert Tonyan. He's not just some random camp body. This is a guy who once caught 11 touchdowns in a single season with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. And now, he's walking into the tight end room of the reigning Super Bowl champs. That's not just a fresh start, that's a chance at redemption. Tonyan's arrival in Kansas City didn't come with a lot of noise. No flashy headlines, no bold predictions. But for the people paying close attention to how Brett Veach builds a roster, this signing feels calculated. Tonyan has something to prove, and the Chiefs just might have the perfect environment for him to do that. Let's rewind for a second. Tonyan made his name with the Packers, especially during that breakout 2020 season. He had chemistry with Rodgers, he was efficient in the red zone, and for a while, he looked like one of the best young tight ends in the league. But injuries, changes in offensive schemes, and a brief stint with the Bears last season derailed that momentum. Now he's here, trying to carve out a new role in one of the most competitive position groups in football. The thing about Kansas City is, nothing's handed to you. If you want a job on this team, especially behind a legend like Travis Kelce, you've got to earn every snap. And Tonyan seems to understand that. He's not here to relive the past. He's here to make sure he doesn't repeat it. So what do you think? Can Robert Tonyan carve out a real role in this offense? Do you see him catching more than 3 touchdowns this season? Drop a quick yes or nitrogen monoxide in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And if you're excited to see how these new pieces fit into the Chiefs puzzle this year, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing for 5,000 strong on this channel, and every click helps us grow this amazing community of Chiefs fans. Now let's take a closer look at what Tonyan's learned from his past and how he's planning to make sure history doesn't repeat itself. If there's one thing you notice quickly with Robert Tonyan, it's that he's not making excuses. He knows where he's been, and he's crystal clear on where he doesn't want to go again. That kind of self-awareness is rare in a league that often chews guys up and spits them out. After that 2020 breakout, a lot of folks thought Tonyan was on a rocket to the top tier of NFL tight ends. But the truth is, football rarely follows a straight line. Injuries slowed him down. His ACL tear in 2021 was a turning point, and even though he came back, he wasn't quite the same. Then came his time in Chicago, quiet, underwhelming, and honestly, forgettable. But here's what stands out. Instead of blaming the system, the quarterbacks, or the coaching staff, Tonyan is focused on what he needs to change. That's the mentality you want in a guy trying to earn a spot on a championship roster. He's been honest in interviews, saying he's not just aiming to catch passes, he wants to be a more complete tight end. That means blocking, knowing his role on every snap, and being someone the team can count on no matter the situation. It's a refreshing approach, especially in a league where plenty of players chase stats over substance. It's not like the Chiefs are taking a blind chance here. They're betting on his experience, his ability to adapt, and the hunger that comes from knowing what it's like to be left out of the game plan. Tonyan understands that this might be one of his last best shots in the NFL, and he's not wasting it. I want to hear from you. Which former Chiefs player do you think made the best comeback after a rough patch in their career? Let's talk redemption stories in the comments. Also, if you're into seeing how veterans fight their way back into the spotlight, make sure you're subscribed. We're building toward 5,000 subscribers, and your support means everything to this channel. Alright, now let's talk about where Tonyan fits into this crowded, talented tight end room and why that competition might actually bring out his very best. When you walk into the tight end room in Kansas City, you're not just stepping into a group of skilled players, you're stepping into a standard. At the top, of course, is Travis Kelce, future Hall of Famer, unmatched chemistry with Mounds, the heartbeat of the offense. Then you got Noah Gray, who's been steadily carving out a role with smart play and quiet consistency. And now, you've got Robert Tonyan trying to prove he still belongs in that conversation. This is not your average competition. In Kansas City, every rep matters. Tonyan isn't walking into a situation where the depth chart is thin. He's walking into a tight end room that's already loaded in. That's exactly why this could work to his advantage. Iron sharpens iron, and Tonyan knows this is the kind of environment where he can either rise or fade. What makes Tonyan intriguing here is that he's not the same kind of player as Kelce. He doesn't need to be. He's shown flashes of being a reliable red zone target, and he understands how to find soft spots in coverage. He's not flashy, but he's smart. discipline, and seasoned. That matters, especially in a system like Andy Reid's, where knowing your assignment is just as important as making the highlight play. He's also being given a fresh opportunity to compete. The Chiefs aren't handing him a roster spot. They're saying, show us what you've got, and if Tonyan can prove he's still got that burst, that timing, and that ability to contribute in multiple ways, there's room for him in this rotation. So let me ask you, outside of Travis Kelce, who's your favorite tight end currently on the roster? Drop your pick in the comments, and let's see who the fans are backing. And hey, while you're here, make sure you hit that bell so you never miss a training camp update. Things move fast in KC, and we've got you covered every step of the way. Next, we'll break down exactly why the Chiefs brought Tonyan in and what they see in him that might not be so obvious on the stat sheet. So, what exactly do the Chiefs see in Robert Tonyan? On paper, it's easy to focus on the declining stats, the injury history, or his forgettable year in Chicago. But if you know anything about how Kansas City builds a roster, you know it's not just about numbers. It's about fit, football IQ, and trust. And that's where Tonyan starts to make a lot more sense. First off, Tonyan brings reliability. He's not the kind of player who's going to blow the top off a defense, but he is the kind of guy who knows where to be, when to be there, and how to do the little things right. That's invaluable in a system like Andy Reid's, especially when Patrick Mahomes is improvising or extending plays. You need guys who can adjust on the fly, and Tonyan has proven he can do that. There's also his versatility. He can line up, in line, flex out wide, and even motion into the backfield if needed. He may not be flashy, but he gives the Chiefs options. And when you're a team chasing another Super Bowl, depth that can produce is a luxury most franchises wish they had. Tonyan could be a solid piece of that puzzle. And let's not forget, Kansas City is always thinking long-term. Kelce isn't retiring today, but he's not going to play forever. Having veterans like Tonyan around not only helps on the field, but also in the locker room. He's been around top quarterbacks, he's been in playoff games, and he understands the mental grind of a long NFL season. That experience matters, especially when the pressure ramps up late in the year. Let's do a quick poll. If you were calling the plays, would you use Tonyan more in the red zone or lean on him as a blocking specialist? Comment red zone or blocker, and let's see how Chiefs Kingdom would deploy him. And if you believe that smart depth wins championships, smash that like button. This roster isn't just built on stars, it's built on guys like Tonyan. Up next, we'll zoom in on what this year really means for him and why his mission in Kansas City might be bigger than just football. For Robert Tonyan, this isn't just another stop in his NFL journey, it's a defining moment. After years of ups and downs, after a breakout season followed by injuries and setbacks, he's landed in a place that doesn't just expect greatness, it demands it. And that's exactly what makes Kansas City the perfect place for a veteran looking to rewrite his story. Tonyan isn't chasing headlines. He's chasing trust from the coaches, from his quarterback, and from a fan base that knows what it means to win. When he talks about not making the same mistakes, it's not just lip service. He's talking about being more focused, more prepared, and more adaptable. He's been the young, hungry player trying to prove he belongs. Now, he's the seasoned vet trying to show he still matters. This camp, this preseason, it's all going to be critical for him. Every snap counts. Every rep in practice is a chance to stand out. And while the roster is deep, the Chiefs didn't bring him in just to fill a spot. They brought him in because there's still something there. Because maybe, just maybe, he's got one more solid run left in him. It's easy to root for the stars. But guys like Tonyan, they're the ones grinding behind the scenes, doing the work when nobody's watching. And if he makes this roster, if he gets on the field and makes a difference, it won't be by accident. It'll be because he earned it. So let me ask you, are you rooting for Robert Tonyan to make the 53-man roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get some support going for a guy trying to fight his way back into the spotlight. And hey, if you believe in redemption stories, if you love watching players rise to the occasion, hit that subscribe button. Help us hit that 5,000 subscriber milestone and keep this Chiefs community growing strong.